Carter, publisher and writer at Wanging Dude Publishing. I have completed day 10 of my library volunteer. And I tell you, well, first of all, it's a little suspicious that there were several bottom shelf books still. And I'm crawling on the floor. But I made it. I wasn't out of breath today. But also, I love being in the children's section because where I shelve right next to it is this series of tables where parents can read to their kids or talk to their kids, that's kind of away from the rest of the library so the kids don't have to whisper, and it's the cutest interactions. And today I couldn't help but laugh, and I hope the dad wasn't offended, but he was trying to keep from laughing too. His son gave my son a run for his money when it comes to the whining voice. So when my son was little, we quickly got him out of being a whiner, and Katie and I were like, we don't understand that language. We just we'd act like we didn't understand what he was saying. But this little boy was so pitiful. I wish I could imitate him, but you know what I'm talking about. Just I wish I could do my, and it was so sweet. And then if you've ever watched the show Bluey, which is a children's show, an Australian show that they show on Disney, there's certain times when if the kid gets something they want or the parents get something they want, they all turn to the camera and they go, yay! Like it's a celebration for everybody. Well, this little boy would whine and whine and whine, and then he'd say, hey, can I check this book out? And his dad would be like, yeah, you can. And then he'd go, yay! And all of a sudden his mood would change. It just reminded me of Blue, where there was a pause in the story just for a yay. That he was the cutest thing. Some other observations. There were 2 books that I saw today that reminded me of stuff that my son really loved. One was Shay Bob. I'll put the links down below, but that book cracked Mr. Carter up when he was, what was that, kindergarten, first grade? And then the other one was, Pete and Cat, the show on Nickelodeon, and I'll put the link to the book below, and maybe to the cartoon, because it was mainly the cartoon my son watched. But they have children's books, and what I love about it is about math, so it's math-based stories, and it's on grid paper, so the background is grid paper. So if you are a geek, a math geek, an engineering geek, it's just I just loved that the backdrop was always grid paper. So those are the 2 that I saw, and I was like, aw, I remember that. And it just, I'm telling you, one of the librarians asked me, she's like, oh, hey, and I'm like, hey, and she was like, well, thanks for coming in. And they're always very thankful for the volunteers to come in. And I said, well, since I've been working from home, this is, I'm doing this because I want to learn more about publishing and books and being around books, since I'm publishing my own book. But it also is to get me out of the house. I said I've been working from home for 4 years now. And the first couple years was right in the thick of COVID. So I was totally content and fine to be in the house, because for those who don't know, I'm a kidney transplant recipient. So I had to take COVID very seriously, and I had to be isolated longer than most people. So I was at home for 2 years without interaction very much. And so that was the first 2 years. Now I've been doing it 2 years past that. And I'm like, I thought I was a private person who liked to be alone and have my alone time, but damn, I didn't. I'm telling you, I crave to be out with people, because there's an energy that is exchanged that you take for granted until you're isolated. And so I was like, that's the other reason I do it. I come in here because I want to see people and interact and hear these parents with their kids and see these kids, and it's very, very cute to watch children, because they haven't been affected by the world yet, right? They haven't been kind of pushed into I'm trying to think of like the Play-Doh. Remember those Play-Doh shapes that you would push the Play-Doh in to make shapes? Well, I feel sometimes that's the world, and we're just kind of pushed into that, and somehow as adults we lose that sense of just saying whatever we feel, expressing love to our parents, excited about getting a book from the library. I mean, just little things that as adults we seem to kind of not think is cool, and don't really enjoy as much anymore. But support your local library. They have so many books and so many resources and so many things that I think people don't realize. They have programs, they have craft sessions and education sessions and all kinds of stuff that you can get involved in. So support your local library. Thanks for following the channel. If you have any suggestions on what you want to talk about or things about the library or something I can ask the librarian that you want to know, I'm happy to do it. And until next time, take care.